coming after all and others. There's seven groups here in this village. They came together and they reconciled. They reconciled the whole clan, 7 clans in this village, reconciled in the south. Following that, events took place. And Jonathan has a fair bit of story to tell, where the angels took him and when he got encountered, he went around and he will speak and then I'll interpret. Jonathan Sosa, the name. Yes, thank you.
Lotu dunia na labani lotu lo saba, lotu na mi, na basista dunia, em fein, na em go lost na mi kan talk sorry la sisters dunia, mi kan talk sorry la sisters dunia, mi kan tell na mi talk sorry la sisters mi kan only la, one and then, have them now.
I used to go for service on Saturday, Sabbath worship, but one of my sisters fainted, so I came and held her hand and I said sorry to her. And then, from then, I began to experience something.
Na bakain magnet and istina had na mi faint.
Yes, something like a magnet grabbed hold of my heart and I fainted. That was the beginning of my experience.
Faint na mi go la heaven and tasting fire and stuff.
During that process, I got shifted, got lifted, and there was a testing fire in between, just before the third heaven.
We got a testing fire. Jesus and Son of testing fire.
Jesus was standing where the testing fire was.
And we go Son of him. One is something to make it like ground and you got fire and you got candle.
Whatever you did on ground while you were on earth, you come through the testing fire.
Now me fire could give me no good straight. Okay, the body blow me, come the tongue blow me. Okay, then fire could give me.
Through the testing fire, it burnt me all over my body, including the tongue, to set me, release me.
Now, me came question Jesus, how are you making a tongue? Okay, the body do me go. Oh, okay, the body do you have seen? Tongue do you use a positive? Use a very kind. One good no good. Use a tongue. Mouse do you? Tongue do you?
I questioned Jesus why my whole body had to go through the testing fire and got burnt, including my tongue. And then the Lord Jesus started explaining that because while you were on earth, you touched sin and you were gossiping at people, so you have to go through this testing fire to purify.
Now me go finish and my son. Now I'm rousing me the testing fire. I'm go inside the little camp.
After going through that, Jesus took him out of the testing fire, and then they had to go through a needle gap, the small hole of the needle. He had to go through that.
Me go inside the little this la mirausin. This la I'm seeing so mirausin this la. Na me very one of the heaven.
After that, instantly, suddenly, this part of the body got removed. Got removed, and because it involves in sin, so I was standing. I didn't know where my physical body was.
I'm going inside now, you back heaven. Now I'm seeing New Jerusalem.
And from then, the Lord took me to New Jerusalem.
We go and to New Stabia, the plaza worshiping me. I got a big plaza come down and Mr. Stabia, Mr. Looking, I don't know, Mr. Looking, and plaza around.
This is where I said I came to show you, and how you worship and tears roll down. I watch every activity that you do.
MC go and Golden Street, and Colton, flowers, science and Golden cement, Colton. Na side and flowers, we walk about and flowers, Ostana, hallelujah.
As soon as the Lord led him through the Golden Street, there were flowers all on the sides, and also they were singing Hosanna, Hallelujah.
Now we walk about, we go touching flowers and just we not can touch them. And strong plan stuff, you know can put them, and stop us. Try now, leave them go on the ground.
The flowers as he was touching, Jesus was telling him not to touch the flowers, not to break the flowers, and also the leaves don't fall like flowers on earth.
Walk about, go inside, go now. One and blame straight. Throne blame, you go now inside. Okay, you look in this land now, the leave go there.
He led him to the throne, and after that, he led him again to hell.
Visiting hell.
What hell is like.
Now you go inside the hell, the first time you looking or commit adultery.
When the Lord led me to hell, first group of people were the adulterers, those who commit adultery.
First you go looking, try to after Busen, rape him, man and marry. Still on the ground, on your diet, steal them, smake them, spirit them, cook the fire, and I still all die now go and still start the whole fire.
When they visited the first group, those who are adultery group, octopus like something that used to penetrate into the system of ladies, even men too, because of homosexuality. And when he saw that, he
now we go look in this the MC we go another section again.
and then the Lord led him to another section.
We go and look at posting man, posting old man, born. Fire him all or get unjoined them, go down, come up again, or single Jesus help me.
He led to another group of people that were suffering as those who are sorcery people. Sorcery people, the flesh all rotten, and they were shouting and screaming for mercy.
We go another section and one for pastor and cook hellfire. Install a leaky hole. And to start the fire, come out of the side the hole now. So Jesus mercy on me. But this is in the same way.
As he led him through the hell, they came across a pastor who is in a small hole, suffering, and then he was calling out to the Lord, Lord help me, but Lord ignored him.
Me questioning Jesus, pastor, I can't stand the whole stuff. Oh, pastor, patere one him, but I'm stealing money from the sets, to make you work from the sets. All man go work for God, or this work for me. Only find something or find ticket or this stuff. Also, I meet him. start. So this time money can start.
That pastor, the result of him ending up in hell was that he used to misuse church funds, church money, and he never assist the missionaries to go out to the world. And as a result, he ended up in hell.
We go another section and section by Medara. We go one by Mary and Christian Mary, but one by time a man them been came temptation the Mary and the start now. John 3:16 and of which no start hellfire.
A lady who married the husband, a Christian lady, she ended up in hell, and in there she always talk about John 3:16. For those who love the word scripture, she repeats over and over again.
Now I'm making question like Jesus, Miriam go to Mary, but I can't start the hellfire, man. Jesus Christ, or Miriam, Christian Mary, but man them been trying marry them now, marry them gone. Man them gone actually Mary come house gone now. Mary Kiram killing this one, but Mary now, Mary died for them.
Oh, okay. That Christian lady was around at home, and the husband went and brought another lady, and she got up and married her. And as a result, when she died, she ended up in hell, even though she was a Christian.
Nah, I'm looking this law, okay. You looking finish, you're gonna talk a lot like ground.
Since you have seen it in hell, you go and tell those who are on the earth that they must not do that.
Nah, you listen hell now, can we come to heaven? Jerusalem.
They left hell and then they went back to heaven.
Now, we go to heaven and you go to the Garden of Eden.
And from heaven, the Lord told him that he was taken into Garden of Eden.
We're gonna, Jesus Christ, even Adam been starved, this to happen. Me vaccine, you're gonna give him prosper in the ground.
The Lord led him to Garden of Eden, showed him the Garden of Eden, and told him to come and tell the people on earth that I visited the Garden of Eden.
Now, even Adam been starved, the Garden of Eden, this the apple, Satan been coming in Eden and in temptation, this the divine and still starved yet. Now, black mark Adam and Eve and starved yet. Now, all line and all lost.
Yes, the fruits that the devil came and tempted Eve is still there, the tree is still there, and footprints of Adam and Eve are still in the Garden of Eden.
Now we go looking this time we go waterfall. Waterfall we go and looking kind all fish na all animals or get out come drink water na wash enjoy the Islavara stuff.
I was taken to the waterfall and I saw that all kinds of fish are in there. They enjoy heavenly life in the water that flows.
Looking this time, just you come start long time so you back home. Now kissing me come to heaven and okay you go looking me by you.
From there, the Lord took him to New Jerusalem where he built.
Me go Jerusalem, me go and you looking just a same line up na start there. I'm looking just a same now, I'm looking drive the long table some world there, just a New Jerusalem world. So man na Mary now first na go last beginning name same line up number blown.
From there, took him to the place where there's a long table and then chairs that are lined up. And it starts from our father, mother, and also the children. their chairs are lined up. And if one chair is missing, then that child is lost in the world or in hell.
Nan. What the beginning, two black beginning based on the start, ordinary start the stair and all start the heaven. Or Karayan, one you need to go. You need to do it.
When your child is not seated beside you, you will cry for just few seconds or minutes, and then that sadness will disappear.
Nan. This is talk. And you look into the same, empty now. Okay, time start the hell. Now, Karayan, you start the heaven, but you barren waste your family, they start the hell. You start heaven.
Those empty seats that are there where nobody's occupying, they ended up in hell, and you can clearly hear their cries out from hell.
Nah, just see me come out, you see me now, you come back.
And the Lord brought me back to this place, this village.
We start 6 hours, 9 o'clock night, come 6 o'clock, 6 hours.
His time in heaven was 6 hours.
All the time I kiss me plan, sign the all and behind. Now sign the all and sign. All the music in
These angels are not like us human beings. They're huge angels. And the noise when they are approaching is the one that you just made.
Angel Birmingham, Jonathan Rachel, Mary.
His angels, Jonathan and Rachel.
Rachel. Okay. First visiting Birmingham, you call it China. Two different.
First visit, the angel took me to China.
Now, all the see me come, all just holding me was a magnet. All put on all only me and me was in was a magnet.
When they were sifting me, they just touched my body. It was like magnet, and they were taking me out and flying, and I went to China.
Me go to China, me looking, all get up in darkness, all factories, kind, all mill number of them, tight. Now me get me have the water.
When they took me to China, everywhere was all darkness. There was no light.
We go and want the pasta and pasta so and okay times of rain, light and upon.
So among the few pastors in China or where there is Christianity, the light goes out. And the angel took him to where this spot where the light was coming up.
And you see me now, can you go and I'm going to see me, but I'm to see me now, I'm out. Now, all I come see me done, this time I was in a Lucy, this time I was in a Lucy. All this time, win, but they go at this time.
So when they took me across, my whole physical body disappeared, and my feathers were all over me, and wings grew out of me when they took me there.
Now, me go around and me go this all mill number out there, all factories. Me go and first me looking, all see all snake, na frog, na this kind of making all sign a tin piece number out there, this
He took me to the place, all factories, all packed everywhere in China, and they took me to a place where they came these frogs or the meat of snakes and all this. I was taken there as a witness.
Now we go look in this we go all second hand clothes number, this section, we go all city, so all get up car line up, So we have the walk about crossing Nakola Napa store affecting them.
It was a busy place that he visited. So there were vehicles that were going and they couldn't go through. He couldn't go through. Angels initially released him to walk and to go himself. That's why when he was trying to cross the road or walk, there were vehicles everywhere.
Nami ko mi pulim to plus of China.
When he landed in China, he took the body of Chinese and he spoke Chinese language.
Na mi ko la nada Afghan and look him all running all cutting all man number cutting all level number go making all when a meat number there mi ko la successful.
Next factory which is what they made the people, they bring in and they remove the organs and they can the meat of the human into, they make them into cans and it's for sales as sold.
And we pulim to place the China one time and around. Start to we pulim to place and all man start background in place.
While he was in China and the body was there, and Chinese language he was speaking and communicating to get through to the factories, the people who surrounded here were listening to him speaking in Chinese language. And literally here, they were listening to, the voice was coming out of his body in Chinese language.
Now, this land, all angel come. Niarim west the angel na or kisimiken na okay. Baka mi kami tamdo mi ablusin triple rockets and tamdo na mi anta.
So in China, when angels came and picked him up and they were traveling, he passed through 3 rockets passing through it, but they were flying above the rockets.
Seconds, hours or what? Taking hours.
It's the speed of the travel was probably lightning speed, not the normal speed of the light or that we can imagine. Very fast.
You come to see this all cutting banana one plant so there me have a plant.
When they dropped me and then I was hanging on to one leaf of the banana. I was hanging on. And the whole community they saw him hanging on the branch or the leaf of the banana. The community went and surrounded him and they were watching how he would come down.
Second, I went to South Africa.
Second, you went to South Africa.
I went and visited Ben Carson. Can we go visit him, Ben Carson? Story how I come diplomat.
He went and visited Ben Carson, and we don't know whether he's South American or South African or United States, but he visited him and he started telling him the story about himself to him.
We go and talk. Brother, me and Osam was saying, Mama blew me and Pamuk Mary. We can't look the Pamuk Mary. So, life story blew me and me come now, me pasta and me talk and me start.
My life story is that I was born out of a prostitute, and I grew up, and now I want to be a doctor.
We go to school, all friends rejecting me. We know what trasus, we know what said, we know what soap, we go to school. Skin bemis smell or kirameto. You skin bemis smell you go.
In my childhood days, I had sores all over me. I had nothing. I was poor, and There's souls all over me, and my fellow students of peer group rejected me and didn't want to walk together with me.
And story go finish now, and me come talk down, me operation to blood, two inside one to blood head, and the cutting stuff. Story like this now.
He told a story about he became a doctor, and then there was two children that were connected, or they had got stuck. So he was about to operate one, and he told the story.
And operation this lab, one of them, Karain and stand beside them, and pray to when person is operation this lab. Now, to go to them, we all know that still alive.
Okay. The mother knew that he was performing the operation, so she connected with God and she was praying, and then the operation was successful, and the two children were operated on, and they are still alive.
Now, me are voice angel now. Angel come now. Me are in this land, you see the man and mistake in me now. Me out now.
When the angel came and he picked the signal of the presence of the angel and he left.
Now, me come straight and all two blind. Mary son of a side, one son of a side, all him yourself. All him yourself, man, you know, put down one and me come straight. We can operation 6 rockets.
When these two angels came and lifted me up, I went up, and in the United States, I passed 6 rockets passing by, and we were above the rockets.
Nah, we come go around that side the uncle rocket pasta, no one banana. You can go around the aslo banana.
When they brought me back here, I landed at the back of Pastor McKenzie, the leader here, at the back of his house, and I was landing on the banana leaf.
And you can study the family, there's a story now.
All these travels were not for me to keep, to tell the Christians, and I told the Christians of my experience.
Last time, we obviously we go America, United States. We go now, President America signing 6 years. Barack Obama.
They took me to visit the United States, and former President Barack Obama, he signed some kind of a decree or oath or something authorizing 666, and he witnessed while he was doing it.
This time, you know, go down the ground, and this time darkness, Mr. Bangal air.
It was darkness there, and he was in the air, and he watched what was taking place.
Angel Kisimi go air na milkim Islam and darkness. So you go side na Angel Kisimi go side na and this light come and all Christians or stuff, so you go
there were lights coming out, and there were Christians there, so they landed where the Christians were.
So all Kisimi go all stuff beside now see me. You gonna look online now making one kind of something of making stuff. You gonna look in now.
Okay, when the angels brought to the place where the Christians there, he went down and he was taken. He was walking to see and witness the signing of this, authorizing this 666 by Barack Obama.
Nami go close to the district, but making kind of passing the district group. Some do lama mas, some do making kind of fight, some balagupa sing out, looking this land, rascal district side, and this time we go some other side.
While he was there were all kinds of people. Some were supporting, some were rejecting, shouting that Barack Obama should not sign the authorization 666. So he stood on the side and he was watching.
Nami go this land, or get the skin them around. Skin them or some skin online or some legal.
When I landed in the United States, my body became white and I was like one of the people of the United States.
Man, me gonna look in this stuff of finish now. Me and ask this about me.
People thought I was a normal person, European American, who was visiting the place, but I was a Papua New Guinean. Somehow my body color changed and I blended.
So me looking this stuff finish and just angel kirana. Okay, give me go.
After everything was over, the angel instructed me it's time to go.
Now, I could come skin this time where I was in get the skin and green companies, feathers and fly.
The body, physical body disappeared and feathers grew and wings came out and they flew out.
I'm asked the rockets and the United States and run jet and me pushing this land. Second thing.
It was lightning speed they left and they were what Americans are doing, rockets, whatever, they saw, they passed by. They came and dropped me somewhere up here where on the branch of a breadfruit tree. And while he was singing, all the community gathered to see what was, it was unusual for a human being to hang on the branch, small branch of a breadfruit tree. So these are my experiences. My experiences of encountering the Lord, encountering the angels, and I was taken out to various places.
When did he encounter?
My name is Sharon Sosa.
Sharon
Sosa. Okay, story from me, I'm Muslim. And same day, 2013, this events been come up inside of this and me making this
All these events took place in 2013.
And 4 o'clock morning and something impossible.
4 in the morning, something that caused me and quickened me to go to the river.
Now me come outside 3 times me come outside me looking and me no morning here. And dark and still start. Now me go inside camp. Now me the sleep can and kirapi me can no come outside.
I came out of the house 3 times and then I tried to sleep, but somebody was waking me up to come out.
Me come outside me looking morning you know come here. I'm still dark yet. We go inside camp 2 times.
It was still dark, so once you noticed that it was not light yet, I went back.
Number 3, me kirap and pushing me to go straight to water.
But at that time, really urged me, quickened me to go down to the river.
So me kiss him all dirty clothes na me put inside the bucket. Night yet me go over the
I took the laundry while it was still dark and I walked down to the river.
Me go down and inside the water me go put in me rousing my clothes na me puti lo wara na mi puti lo stone and one plus something all throw me na fighting.
While in the river, as I took the laundry out and left them on the stone, something came and hit me. Somebody threw something and hit me on the behind the right shoulder.
Na mi tani na mi luki me no bag man.
When I turned around, there was no one around.
Na mi luki me mis night yet me morning yet me go so me I don't me off na mi luki and me start to that inside the water.
It was still not light years and it was still dark when I opened my eyes.
Na mi luki na mi to okay me morning yet na mi kam na mi like see how close na put when me waiting finish and me la put the bucket na like walk about there. Na mi tani me mi looking something the water.
When I noticed that it was still dark, I put the laundry back in the bucket and I was trying to walk away and then I turned around, I saw a balloon floating on top of the water.
Now me look inside the balloon.
When I had a closer look at the balloon, there was a rainbow inside the balloon.
Me look at this line, over the body bovina, over the garas polo leg and mino gastron.
When I saw that, I grew weak. There was no strength in me.
Na me holding past the stone start na me looking at something.
I was holding onto the stone and I was seeing all these things.
The pro lo kisi pro na come antalo place but me hard.
I was doing my best to crawl and come out to the village, but I couldn't move.
Me looking inside the balloon. Me work yourself and feel like guru go down now.
When I was doing that, it was already daylight.
Na inside the morning straight and balloon and float on top of water.
And while in the morning, the balloon was still floating on top of the water.
Na rainbow color and go finish now and come up some blood.
And when the rainbow disappeared, the whole place turned into blood. The water, that area was all red.
Na me looking balloon and go around on top of water, tanim go now. You walk looking at Karasta Sole walk around him, Thomas, and me looking face and tanning go second. Me like looking face and tanning and give backside Garasta Solo, me and go tanning water.
When I was trying to have a closer look at it, I saw a face turning and the hair was swinging here to and fro, and I figured out that this is something.
Me looking now, can make it strong, can do single.
Then I regained a bit of strength and I started to call.
We sing out now, one brother by me and Ron gone up and looking.
As I was calling out, the brother went down and saw me.
In the morning straight over the man sleep start.
It was early morning and most people were asleep.
I'm gone and the brother am looking me. I'm go looking me and brother am too hard to go close to me and faint on me. Power blame kissing.
When brother approached me, he couldn't come closer anymore because of there was a thick atmosphere that he couldn't come close.
Na balu mi looking at them balu ne mem go finish na mem mi looking on tablo dead them and mark was some cloud type na this is some appear of this la cloud on tablo. Yeah.
When she looked up, she saw balloon actually disappeared. She looked up and saw Jesus appear in the cloud.
And mo ko move on lo mi go begin na move on lo mi. And mo ko open hand on the kind now and make it kind. Ose kind lo mi.
When the Lord was approaching her, the action you saw, the Lord was doing that. Approaching her.
Now, okay, the man witness. This last vessel man witness.
When she was screaming while in encountering that, people rushed down to see what was happening.
Sunday.
It was Sunday morning.
Wara tu saints gone light come up na. Rainbow color karambin sa wara na. Body from me to saints.
I was not there to witness, but I saw the video tape they captured. While the water was red with blood, her body changed into the appearance of the Lord. That was captured in the video.
Because you know testimonies, handling with me working motion. That's why I'm sensing salon into when come sensing.
He was fearing that she might get drowned in the water river. So he came and his name is Michael. He came and supported her, and all of a sudden her appearance changed into the Lord's appearance, and his too, his appearance, the Lord's Jesus appearance appeared. Okay, that's all.